No discussion of Blood's leaders turning informant is complete without mentioning the most public, polarizing, and surreal case of them all. Daniel Hernandez, professionally known as Tekashi 6ix9ine. Unlike the old-school leaders who came up from the streets of New York, 6ix9ine was a product of the social media era. He didn't just join the Bloods, he branded himself with them, using the 9 Trey gangsters as a backdrop for his music videos and a source of street credibility to fuel his meteoric rise to fame. 6ix9ine, with his rainbow hair and face tattoos, actively and publicly claimed his affiliation with 9 Trey. He wasn't a quiet background figure, he was the face of the set for a global audience. He put leaders like Kifano Shotty Jordan and Jamel Mel Murda Jones in his videos, presenting them as his management and muscle. In return, the gang provided him with protection, status, and the authentic gangster image that sold millions of records and generated endless online clicks. It was for a time a mutually beneficial, albeit highly illegal, partnership. This open and notorious association was like waving a red flag in front of the federal government. 6ix9ine and his 9 Trey associates were not subtle. They broadcasted their illegal activities, flashing guns and making threats on social media and in interviews. The FBI was watching, building a massive RICO case that documented everything from drug dealing and robberies to shootings. It was only a matter of time before they moved in. In November 2018, the feds arrested 6ix9ine and other key members of his 9 Trey crew. Hernandez was facing a mandatory minimum of 47 years in prison, a sentence that would effectively end his life and career. The internet celebrity who played the role of a gangster was now faced with the real-life consequences. The choice was simple: decades in prison with his gang, or cooperate and get a second chance at life. For 6ix9ine, it wasn't a difficult decision. Within 24 hours of his arrest, he was meeting with prosecutors. What followed was one of the most spectacular and widely publicized acts of cooperation in legal history. 6ix9ine didn't just talk, he sang like a canary. He took the stand and for days calmly and methodically detailed the inner workings of the 9 Trey gangsters. He identified members in the courtroom, deciphered slang, and described specific crimes he was involved in or witnessed, including kidnappings and shootings. He implicated everyone from his former manager Shotty to rappers like Jim Jones and Cardi B, alleging their gang affiliations. His testimony was a masterclass in self-preservation. He showed no remorse, treating the witness stand like another performance. He admitted to using the gang for his career and then discarded them just as quickly to save himself. The testimony was live tweeted and covered by every major news outlet, turning the RICO trial into a media circus. He became the poster boy for snitching, with his face photoshopped onto rat memes that flooded the internet. He didn't just break the street code, he shattered it and broadcasted it to the world. The impact of his testimony was devastating for the 9 Trey set he was affiliated with. His insider account, corroborated by wiretaps and surveillance, led to the conviction of nearly all of his co-defendants, including high-ranking members Shotty and Mel Murda, who received lengthy prison sentences. He effectively destroyed the crew that had helped make him famous. He showed a new generation that loyalty was temporary, and that fame and freedom were, for some, the only things that mattered. For his extraordinary cooperation, 6ix9ine received a drastically reduced sentence of just 2 years, most of which he had already served. He was released early due to the COVID-19 pandemic and immediately went back to trolling his enemies and releasing music, seemingly unfazed by the universal condemnation from the hip-hop and street communities. He leaned into the snitch label, mocking the very code he had used to build his image. The 6ix9ine saga represents a new era of street politics, where online clout and individual brands can supersede traditional gang loyalty. He wasn't a founder or a long-standing OG. He was a collaborator who rented a gang for credibility and then turned them in when the bill came due. His story is a bizarre and cautionary tale of the intersection of fame, social media, and federal law enforcement, and it left an indelible rainbow-colored stain on the history of the Bloods in New York City.